Hey guys, I'm Tim.
And I'm Bob.
And I'm Jack Handy.
Oh boy. Welcome to a Sunday edition of the live stream.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew, not a sponsor, but could be.
It could be.
But yeah, we wanted to try to do this format, see how it turns out when we do like a best of February, best of whatever month. And instead of like trying to film it and then curate it, get it edited, and put out, screw it. Let's just try to do it live. See
Do it
what
live.
happens.
Do it
Yes,
live.
Donnie, it is Wednesday already. If you see us
It
looking
is
over
Wednesday.
here,
That's right.
we got a monitor
That's
so
where
we can
monitor's
see
at.
comments and
comments.
stuff like that. Andrew, thank
Comment
you for
corner.
being here. Comment corner.
It's also like damn near St. Patrick's Day, so we're like, we don't want to wait another week for this to get out.
Right.
Right.
So let's just get it out now.
And then I also apologize. The weather, like it is like a 40-degree swing in weather
Yes.
from yesterday to today,
It was in the 70s yesterday.
and that plays hell with my sinuses. So,
Yeah. I had turned my heat off yesterday and opened some windows because it was beautiful outside.
right.
I woke up this morning. The house was 60 degrees. I was like,
Perfect sleeping weather.
I should close the windows.
Hey, where'd that comment go? Oh, you post? Did you highlight it? Is that what you
Not
did?
yet.
What you
It's
doing?
about to-
Mike?
boom,
Oh,
there it
is. Hey,
From St. Louis.
hey, hi, John.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yes.
Cardinals suck.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I hope you know
I'm a- no, I don't. I'm a Cubs
Viewers
fan.
already.
I'm a
Start
Cubs
with the
fan.
beef.
We're both Cubs fans, but I mean, everybody's going to
Oh, yeah,
leave.
baseball
Hey, we got
sucks.
Rob Silver.
Looks like Bob Silver.
Hello.
Um,
Yellow.
But we should probably talk about the
Shots fired.
caveats for lists like this. Oh yeah, Andrew's a Cardinals fan, but he still tunes in.
Oh
So
yeah,
Yes.
we'll
that's
forgive
right.
you.
Yeah. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
That's all right.
I personally, there's a few Kickstarter previews in this because we do a lot of lists where we stick to games that are retail available. When we do these, what games did we play from the previous month? We're going to include Kickstarter previews because some of them are still live. Maybe you go, hey, that sounds cool. I'll go check out the campaign page now and back it, or hit the late pledge button on it. So this gives you an idea of no holds barred. What are we actually playing and enjoying, regardless if you can buy it now? So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And Jazz is saying hi from tropical Kokomo.
Ooh, tropical.
Way down in
I was gonna say,
Kokomo.
Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, that's what the Beach Boys told me.
Yeah, we don't get copyrighted.
It's true.
That's
So,
it.
yeah.
That is it. Don't worry, I was so off tune. There's no way.
There's no way they're. Yeah, that's right. The AI is not picking up on that. They're like, nope, that's original.
Yeah.
We can't monetize this anymore.
Yeah, really, nobody wants that.
That's
Okay, so yeah, like Mike said, normally we do have our list where we try to make it all so
stuff you can
get stuff.
Yeah, readily available.
But yes, these lists are whatever, anything goes,
Right. If
and that's
we
sort
play
of the fun of it.
February, yeah.
Um,
Another short caveat to this one is we did have a big gaming event that was like January 31st and February 1st. We included that with our January games since it was all kind of the same gaming weekend. So those games are right out.
right out. Before we get into the list, a little bit of small talk, real quick. You guys watching anything interesting, anything new or fun?
Sort of. I mean, so I picked up on the new Daredevil season that started back in
Yeah.
January. I'm enjoying that, and then also the new season of Reacher is out.
Yes,
That is also very good.
Enjoy Reacher and Daredevil both.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike?
I watched this really interesting series on Netflix called Beef, and it starts with this guy like he gets cut off in traffic, and then he gets flipped off, and then he starts chasing her through the city, and it turns into this wild turn of event plot twist.
Okay.
10-episode miniseries that I thoroughly enjoyed.
I think I watched some of the first episode of that.
Really enjoyed it.
I've been watching The Strain on Hulu.
Oh, I've seen all that.
Yeah, so I kind of tried to watch it. I don't want to say try to watch it. I did sort of watch it a bunch of years ago and then fell off and never went back to it.
Okay.
So I just restarted the whole thing.
Sure.
But at least the first season so far, I'm really enjoying. I think anybody like Social Deduction, you should check out Traders.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying Traders.
Bringing it back to the board game.
Yeah. But season 3 just dropped. Like my wife and I went through that in like a week.
Okay.
And then we now are going back and watching like the earlier seasons because we didn't watch them.
Related to The Strain, There's a board game called Vampire Hunters, and one of the stretch goals you could get were the vampires that have the thing that comes out at you and grabs you and pulls you in type of thing. So, yeah.
So gross.
If anybody would like to pay for my Peacock so I can watch that, I'd appreciate that. Or just share your account. Just put the password in the comments.
Yeah, put your password and log in the comments.
I thought he was talking about like the name of his OnlyFans. Pay for Mike's Peacock.
Yeah.
We're gonna rebrand
The people's Peacock.
The people's Peacock. It is good to have Mike back in studio, though. He's been making plans and doing things.
He's like living life.
I know.
Gross.
And I'm out next week too. But yeah, April will be here. So
I mean, everybody gets their fix of him on Wednesdays, which is more than enough.
that's probably true
For most people.
Well, for most people, yeah.
If you didn't go back, if you didn't see it though, I strongly recommend going and watching that Luke Laurie episode. Luke was, I mean, A, he was an amazing guest, and B, like he just had so many interesting things to say about game design and just like his process and all that stuff. So I don't know, I found it really interesting.
Yeah.
But the hunting party, and I was literally watching Traders before hopping on here. Okay, right on. Yeah, I've been enjoying Traders quite a bit.
Get it from his buddy. He's already on the share.
I think what I like about Traders, one of the things is watching everybody's guesses and their plans and like what they're trying to do.
Wrong, and you're like, I do that too.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like my wife and I'll sit there and talk strategy, and then when they don't do what we say and it goes horribly wrong, and you're like, I should have done what we said.
Right? Me. Yeah.
But
she tells you that a lot, doesn't she?
Yeah, usually. Yeah. It's part of being married. It's part of the contract you sign.
Yeah.
But okay, you guys want to get into the games? You got anything else you want to hit before we?
Nope.
Before we go,
time depending, we'll have a couple honorable mentions when we're done.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna try to wrap this up by 2 so that we can then play FinSpan for the Patreon, and then we'll do a review of that as well.
Yeah.
So if you're not a member of Patreon, you'd like to support the show, you can go there. You can see sort of unedited or loosely edited clips, or not clips, full playthroughs of us playing games over there.
Yep.
So it's. I don't know.
You can watch Mike be a bad teacher.
Some people like it.
It's cheaper than the People's Peacock subs. So.
It is. And probably a little more fulfilling.
That's debatable.
All right, guys. So are you doing like your number one was your favorite game you played in February?
Favorite games.
Okay, cool.
Least favorite to most favorite.
Well, my least favorite game will not be on my top 5.
Well, yeah.
Actually, when we're all done, I'm going to ask you guys what the worst game you played.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, I have to pull my list up, but okay. I have all the games. I wrote down my top hitters and then narrowed it down from there.
Here's what I'm going to do, Bob, is I'm going to look in that direction over there, and I bet you don't need to pull out your list. For the worst game you played, I'm looking just to the right of the model.
You're not wrong.
Okay,
I know which one it is now.
Oh,
we got a stack of games sitting.
Oh man, yeah, some stuff we had reviewed and things like that.
All right,
not out yet.
So there you go. We ready for Bob's number 5?
Yeah,
ready.
Let's do it.
Right. That's gonna be tough. Like normally I see that like on my screen, I can hear it. Yeah. I don't know we're back, but we're back. So my number 5. I feel like I'm gonna step on some toes, but like I said, it was a short month.
Oh come on, we played a lot of these games together too.
Guards of Atlantis.
I have a higher
2. Yeah. So it was fun.
2.
It was it's kind of like a MOBA, right? Where you got a bunch of different factions and you're teaming up. And any game that you can play like a 2v2 style, I really tend to enjoy those types of games. I feel like we were kind of outclassed with West and his prior knowledge of what was going on and how things run. But no, it was good. It was a good time, and I do look forward to trying again, and maybe with characters actually have synergy. Yeah. Instead of like my character says, I need cards in my discard pile, and your character being like, hey, you don't have anything in your discard pile, right? I'm like, no, I put things in my discard pile because that's how my character works. And we just couldn't get any
we could not get stuff to line up.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing I will say, I'll wait until we get to my turn.
Well, it's your turn.
Same.
Okay. My number 5, I'm going to go with, and we talked about this on the show before, but it is Tiger and Dragon. Just a domino, like
almost like I don't say bluffing, not a bluffing game, but like you're kind of reading your player against you.
When are you gonna
Put
the
down this
timing
number,
of because it's
put
like
down this
sort of
number.
trick taking with dominoes, you know?
Ish, yeah.
I don't know. It's very unique. I love
Mhm.
the components. I love the vibe. I
Yeah.
love all the different like scoring options, right? Like, okay,
Yeah, you
this
can pick-
round.
Yeah, what the score is better? Sure, more points.
Yeah.
Might be
And-
worth
like that.
explaining how this game works. Like it's
So you got a
It's
bunch
easy.
of tiles. You got like 8 8s, 7 7s, 6 6s, kind of like you would have in
From
Flip 7. And then you also have a tiger and a lion, and they're different colors too. Like
Dragon.
even with a tiger dragon. That's why it's called tiger dragon. Makes
Yeah.
sense. And then they're different colors too. Like some of the evens are blue, the odds are red. And then whoever goes first is going to lay down a tile. The next person has to play that same number tile. If they can't, they're going to pass, or they can play the appropriate colored dragon. Or
right. So
tiger.
the tiger or the dragon trumps
anyone it blocks.
Yeah,
It's basically because so you put your number out and it's an attack, and then the other person has to play that same thing to block. And if they can't, it kind of goes all the way around. If they can't or don't want to, it goes all the way around. If it comes
Right.
back to you, you get to bury one of your tiles face down and then attack again. But if somebody plays a magic number that blocks your attack, then they get to attack with a number. And it goes around the table. And you're just trying to get rid of your tiles. Then, depending on what scoring cards you have, either like low number gets you extra points, or high number gets you extra points, or
So
different
basically,
things
you're
like
going to score based on that last tile, that last face-up tile you have.
right. And then you get points for how many you buried too.
Right. Yeah. Some extra points there as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
there's
they've
the-
got these great cards that give you all different sorts of variety for scoring.
And for an Oink game, like it's the biggest box I've ever seen. It's like this big, and then it has really nice like acrylic tiles in there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, I mean that
like
box.
it's like this big.
I mean, it's big
Yeah, that's
for an
the
Oink game.
It's
player
big for an Oink
board
game.
About
down
3
there.
times the size of a
Yeah,
scout
it's like
box.
taking 4 of those together.
Right,
And that's
right.
yeah.
basically first to 10 points wins, but yeah, depending on the last tile you play, you get additional bonus points. So sometimes it can end in one round. That happened a few times the
Yeah,
last time
I
we
did.
played.
Mhm.
Yeah, when we played it last time, I mean, we played 1, 2, 3, 4.
A
We
lot.
we played at least 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
Like boom, 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 boom.
How many of those scoreboards do you think there are? Probably 20, 25.
That-
Oh, the
what?
scoring sheets.
The scoring
Uh,
sheets.
I don't think it was
No,
that many.
I think there's like maybe 10 to 15.
Yeah,
Okay. They're double sided.
I think so.
Yeah, so I think there's 10. They're probably double sided.
So there's roughly 20 different ways to score in this game. So it plays really fast, but has really good replay.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. Good pick. That was an honorable mention for me. This is one I finally got you guys to play, and maybe I like it more than you guys do, and that's fine. This is a 2024 Reiner Knizia Push Your Luck game. It is Mlem Space Agency. So this is very similar to like Celestia, which was an older game. And basically one person takes control of the commander and they're rolling dice. You're assigning different astronauts to the rocket ship. And then you're going to start at the very beginning of this whole thing. And you're going to roll dice. If they match the results that are next to your location, you get the option of moving the ship. If they don't, you bust and you crash the ship.
literally.
And everybody has to depart the ship, and you hand the commander die to the left and you start over. But what you're trying to do is get as far up this as you can and then deploy your astronauts either onto these planets for in-game points or onto these moons for instant points. Most points wins. It plays in like 45 minutes. It supports 6 players. Excuse me, it's 5. But I really enjoy this. I like push your luck games. I love Reiner Knizia designs. It's very elegant. And I just have a lot of fun with this every time I play. And I really enjoy these components. This is the retail edition of the game. This is a mat. And this thing's like 4 feet long. It's a huge mat that comes with it. I will say, though, I wish the blue and the white astronauts were slightly different colors. They have white accents on the blue astronauts, and I get them mixed up all the freaking time. And that does annoy me. The castronauts. Well done. Well done. I'm mad I didn't think of that, actually. Yeah, there you go. Mlem Space Agency. This is a 2024 release.
I think I like this game. I need to play it more, but I felt like some of the rules didn't. I don't know. I just didn't have like. I felt like we were referencing some of the rule. We had like a lot of rules questions when we were playing it, and
we did.
Yeah, because we weren't really sure. There was I mean, it's been over a month now since we played, because this was like one of those February 1st games that. So it didn't show up like as an option for me because I talked about games from that day. But I don't know. I just felt like I still had some ambiguity about some of the rules with it, where Celestia is a little cleaner. This I felt like has more options. So I mean that could be good, could be bad. I wouldn't say I guess I just don't have strong feelings one way or another about this one yet, but enough curiosity that I want to keep playing or play it again.
There's like 2 or 3 different modules inside of the box too, and I haven't touched any of them. So
Sure.
I already enjoyed this quite a bit. I'm looking forward to trying some of these modules.
Okay.
I think the only thing that might be a little weird at first is when the commander die passes, and the turn order changes. But like I think after one run, it's pretty straightforward.
Sure.
Okay, let's move to our number 4s.
Right. My number 4 was a preview that Tim and I got to do with some of the most interesting bits I've ever seen in a game. It's called Edge Quest, and it's literally like a fencing simulator. You got these 2 like super articulating characters, and then you got a player board, and the player board's denoting like which way your fencing foil is facing. Is it high and pointing? Is it down and low? So on and so forth. And then you've got these tarot cards, and they've got like abilities on either side, so you can play them like upside down or right ways. And as you put them down and you go to play your next card, that card slides over and you play the other card next to it, but then it has to like have these dots that match up, because that's going to be like, okay, well, you have to be in certain positions to do certain things, and because you can't be way up here and then be stabbing somebody, because it's just not the flow of a combat. And that was just so much fun. Like the whole board is magnetic, so your guys will actually stand up and do things without falling over. And it was funny because we first started out and we're like swinging at each other, but we weren't close enough, because you've got these little measurement tools that you like measure from your shoulder to like the tip, and that like checks your arc and whatnot, like in your range. And so we're like whiff, and then like, okay, fine, we take a step forward, and then it was just
Yeah, then it was on.
Yeah, and it was like fast and furious as we were fighting each other, and then we backed off because we had to like reset the cards, so the round kind of like resets itself. You draw some cards back up, you can discard, you draw back up, and then you're kind of doing this like bidding thing where you're like discarding cards and gaining edge, and the edge is like rerolls and whatnot. It also like can give you a choose your initiative, like when you want to act. And then we basically jumped back at each other, and there's different like win conditions. You can play to just get a couple of hits, to the pain. You can play, you can do like to the death, things like that. But there's a little bit of our footage as we're kind of like moving the guys around and person. But it was really interesting, and I hadn't played anything like this before, and it was a bunch of fun.
I had this slightly higher, but I'm going to move it up to my number 4 as well, just because I think that's fine.
Yeah.
This game was really cool.
Yeah.
Like hadn't played anything like it.
Yeah.
Like never seen anything like this. Was really curious about it. And so when we had the opportunity to sort of do that little preview for it, it's like, I mean, even if it wasn't, but even if that game was terrible, like I wanted to see like what it was about.
Yeah, get your hands on it, check it out.
Yeah, and I just it's a little complicated, right? There's a lot going on, and you're trying to really.
That minutia is complicated. Like the overall, like I'm reading like the first like 4 pages of the book. I'm like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. You move in, you attack, you do that. Then it goes, here's how combat works. You're like,
whoa!
But once you get the pieces on the board and start manipulating them, it starts
to come together. But yeah, we really enjoy this. It was super fun. And again, just unique as hell, right? Like you've got to where your sword position is.
Where it starts an attack and then where it ends the attack. So then my next one, okay, I'm going to do a defense where I'm blocking upwards like this, or you can do moves where you kind of take a half step back and then you can reposition your sword because you got that second to kind of put it where you want it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool because it felt like so thematic because of that sword placement, which is complicated.
Yeah.
But I mean, it made it feel so real and like with the flow of like how everything goes. Yeah, it was badass. It was a really cool game.
Yeah.
Didn't get to sit in on this one, but the whole idea of it just looks really unique, very original theme. And this is still live on Kickstarter right now. So if you're interested, you can check this one out. It's called Edge Quest.
Yeah. Oh, and that was the other thing, right? It's not even just where your sword ends, but is it pointed towards your foe or away from your foe?
Yeah.
It's like a whole other.
It's a whole thing. It's
a whole thing. Yeah. Because again, whether your sword's like this, you're going to come in at a different angle than if your sword's like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Face backwards.
Yeah. So I mean,
you can do right-handed or left-handed. You can do southpaw if you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can be halfway through. You can be like, something you don't know. I am not left-handed. And switch back to your right hand and then attack again.
But it was cool. It came with some really good components, really interesting. And then the magnetic feet on that board.
Yeah.
Right. To like hold those guys in place. I mean, it was really hard to mess those dudes up once you were, because it allowed you, because they held so well, it allowed you to
Mhm.
really maneuver those arms where you needed
Yeah.
them to be without.
And the way like the movement works is like, okay, one foot stays placed and you can move the other foot that so much distance. So you just hold that foot down and then you can like maneuver that foot however you want. As long as
Right.
it stays within that measurement plate, you're good to go.
Yeah, it was very cool. It was very cool.
Yeah, very unique idea for a game for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, 2-player only. So
Yeah, fencing
Yeah.
simulator.
That's why we didn't invite Mike.
Yeah,
that's true.
brings it in.
That's fine. That's fine. I was in Canada, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, check that bingo card.
Speaking, damn it. Speaking of Canada, how about a game that is being published in Canada? It's live on Kickstarter right now. Friend of the show, 10 Robot Games. This is Cities of Venus Survivors.
Nice.
We shot a preview video for this one as well. This is the second game in the Cities of Venus universe. And this is a lot of fun. Basically, you're just rolling a bunch of dice on your turn and you're programming them into your player board. You're trying to either get like runs or full houses or sequence of the same dice. And depending on which ones you place into your player board, different things will activate. But you are actually, what you're really trying to do is use those placements to place polyominoes on like an exploration board. Here we go. Let me get some actual, like, there you go. So placing your dice into here, and then that allows you to place polyominoes onto these boards here. And the stuff that you cover up can give you like workers. They give you additional abilities, or they can give you like reroll opportunities or extra dice, which is huge because then your runs get bigger and then your abilities get stronger. But basically, after you have one person has unlocked 5 of these power cores, the game ends and it goes to this roll-off phase, which I really enjoyed this. This reminds me of the role player Monsters and Minions expansion and how at the very end you're rolling a huge load of dice and just trying to get the highest total. Well, here you're just trying to get the longest run of dice. And you've got by now, you've got an engine built up. You're using your engine to manipulate those dice. And that final roll-off is just really satisfying. Currently on Kickstarter, really enjoyed Cities of Venus Survivors.
Great game.
Yeah, I would push back a little bit and say not necessarily longest run. You're looking for the biggest Yahtzee, basically,
Well,
because you want matching numbers, not in a row.
We did get a little into the minutia of like what was a sequence versus a run.
Right.
And I believe
You're gonna change that terminology a little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, if that was the biggest problem with the game, then
Sure.
it was fine.
And also, Mike was wrong when he said on your turn, because it's always your turn because it's simultaneous play.
Simultaneous play.
And that is awesome. It plays what was 6 people? I think it plays.
Yeah, you can get up
And
to
it's
6
all
players.
all at the same time. And anytime 6 players can play simultaneously, it's a good time. And that hopefully keep the insert the same. I'm putting it over here because, like we said, because that insert, so many times you get inserts with like the tiles and you could barely get the tiles out of there. No, like you can get in there easily, pull the tiles out. And we heard an interesting story. We actually check out our Whiskey Wednesday. We just had him on, and he was telling us a story on how that insert got to be the way it is. And I just think that everybody should do that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. It's
Sorry if we're getting a little bit of buffering. I'm noticing my Wi-Fi connection is.
Not
I'm
great.
on the store guest account, and it's a little up, a little down.
We'll have to talk to the owner and be like,
Yeah, give us the real deal.
yeah,
Yeah.
come on,
The real
man.
deal, Holyfield. Don't give us the guest account.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway,
All right.
but yeah, this game was a lot of fun. I definitely, again, check this out on Kickstarter. It's live right now. That puts us at number 3.
So for my number 3, Mike almost had it right, but Cities of Venus Survivors was a great game for all the previously mentioned reasons. So.
my number 3 as well.
See, Tim and I had it right.
I know,
Mike
we
was
did.
off.
We did. Yeah, no, this game's awesome. Again,
Yeah.
a continuation in the story, right? So you have the
Mhm.
Cities of Venus game, which even the origin behind that game was really cool, and like the
Yeah.
idea behind that game. And then you get into now Survivors, and then there's going to be another one coming out in a year or so.
Year two,
maybe.
yeah.
Oof,
I can't wait to
Getting
check
called out here is what's happening.
Yeah. Well, show up.
You're welcome.
See, Mike's gone for a couple weeks, and we bring him back down here. We're just gonna call you out every.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of problems with you.
That's what I've heard.
Illusion.
Me and my traveling adventures.
That's right.
But yeah, no, Cities of Venus, awesome, really good, really fun, and yeah, check it out on Kickstarter if any of that sounds good to you. Hot take. I had way more. Just if you're going to talk about like Polyomino games, I enjoyed that more for different reasons than Planet Unknown. But they're different enough. They're very different.
There are things like the Lazy Susan with the inner, like the changing.
Yeah.
That thing is amazing bit of like technology right there. But I did have more fun, I think, playing Cities of Venus.
Well, and I think the way the simultaneous play goes, it's very fast because of that end game trigger, because it's basically just kind of a race to finish.
Yeah.
And then all the ways you can mitigate that dice, right? You build up that engine to mitigate those dice.
Hopefully.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Okay, Mike.
What's your number 3? That's wrong.
What's your number 3?
I said it first. So. Tim already mentioned this one last month. I got to play it in February. So my number 3 is Wild Side.
Yes!
So there's very limited information on Board Game Geek, but this is going to go straight to a retail release, or at least being able to order it straight from the Weather Vane Games website.
Yes.
Weather Vane Games, of course, is the company that is putting out for Hode, Age of Prophecy. This is like more of like a kind of a dungeon crawl experience. But Wild Side is a game from West Todd, the Mingo. And this is a card shedding game, a fast, family-friendly shedding game with 12 different factions? 12 different types of animals including I almost said peacocks.
Flamingos.
Including flamingos, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just basically trying to play like runs, like 3 of the same number,
of
4
a kind,
of the same number,
runs,
of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to play these and shed your hand. But I think what's interesting is that you've got 8 cards on the table, 4 face down, and then an additional card on top of each one. And you can add those to the cards that you play, but you don't get to see what's face down until you've actually played those cards on top of it. So you're trying to play cards that allow you to incorporate those face up ones, flip those face down ones, or you don't get to see ever what the face down cards are. You can just play them blindly and hope they match a run. But if your card is not stronger than what's been played, you take the entire current hand, and that could be sometimes 10, 20 cards.
By stronger, you mean lower, but yes.
Yeah, so the wild swings in this game can be kind of crazy. You can be down to 1 card, but if you don't have the right card left over, you're picking 15 cards back up. But it plays really fast. It's really enjoyable. Definitely going to have a copy, but you got to keep your eye open for Wild Side from Weather Vane Games. This is really fun.
Yeah, because at the end of each round, when somebody goes out and you have cards stuck in your hand, those are going to be worth points, and it's going to be the lowest points wins after the end of however many rounds they end up landing.
Yeah, everybody deals twice.
Yeah, I think everybody deals twice is how right now it's how it sits. So.
Yeah, if you like card shedding, family-friendly games, they play quick,
fast,
it's good, and it's got its own wrinkles to be unique than what's already from what's already in the market right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really great. Really great.
That's going to take us down to number 2. Mike, so close yet so far. Number 2 is Wild Side. For all the reasons Mike mentioned, he's just off again by 1 number. But we played this card. I think we played it, a few times. It's fun if you like fast hand shedding types of games, and that whole like you don't have anything in your hand that matches, but you have that face down card there. Somebody's got a 6 out there. You need a 6 or lower, and you're like, I'm gonna flip this card over. It's a 5. Sweet. I'm in. You're up. 5. Go ahead. You flip it over. You're like 8. Pick up that whole pile of cards, add them to your hand. But yeah, it's just a bunch of fun. It's really low rules overhead, and it's a really good time. So
I did leave Wild Side off my list this time, even though it could have been on there.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say, "Yep, number 2."
No, I think I'm going to try to avoid, just for future reference, repeats from month to month.
No, the thing though is if you've played that game again and again and again, right? Like we just have had the dumb luck of having access to West to play it. But had I owned Wild Side, I would have played it every month that I've talked about it.
Yeah,
I can vouch for that 100%.
Okay.
But no, my number 2 is going to be Guards of Atlantis.
Okay.
I just when we finished playing, I wanted to play again. And I was thinking about strategies and like looking stuff up and like looking at the characters. Really interesting, really fascinating. I mean, basically zero luck. You know, what I mean, it's all planning and strategy, and just the timing of when you're going to try to execute some of these actions. And again, the more I think about it, right, like because I was looking, and that initial hand of cards feels clunky, and like that doesn't do a lot, and it's kind of like, oh, what's happening? But as you start to level up,
and swap some cards
you're
out and
set
make choices,
right? But you're setting up those combos, right? Which is like true to like a MOBA. As you're leveling up your character, the first 15 minutes of like predecessor is boring because you're just grinding to level up.
It is.
But then once you start leveling up, now you're going to start choosing your paths. And the way that those cards work, where like ability X, it doesn't just have like one upgrade. It's got two different versions of an upgrade. And so whatever version I don't use then becomes a different kind of upgrade for me, whether it's increased health or defense, things like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, I just really thought that was cool, the way that you can kind of start to build your character up. And then as you get more powerful, like, man, I would love to play a longer version of that, where we go, for a few more points than we did when we played it last time.
Mm-hmm. That is interesting how like you do have those two choices that you're making when you level up, and the one card you choose is going to basically go into your hand and level one of those cards up, but the other one's going to get flipped over, and on the bottom there's an icon that gets added to your player board, and now you have a permanent upgrade to your player.
Yeah.
I really like how this game handled NPC minions, because there's other games that have tried to do this, and the knock on them is that there's always a lot of upkeep. There's a lot of things to do between rounds. The minions just stay put in the middle of the board. You're just going to focus all the action in the middle where you've got the opportunity to fight the other heroes or minions, and they just stay there. And only if they get wiped do they then move backward one territory. So that kind of represents the team push that you would do in MOBA video games. So it kept the upkeep like very minimal and actually feels thematic to MOBA video games.
Yeah, the minions really only give you like modifiers, right? Pluses or
they have static abilities going on. If you're adjacent to you, they can help you defend. If you're like one away from the range guy.
At least in what we saw using the characters we used.
It's true.
I will say the game that does minions the best is Mechs vs. Minions.
Yeah, but I mean, to Mike's point, there is in Mechs versus Minions. Okay, they're moving. You have to move.
Yeah, but I guess I feel like it's fun to have to try to predict and be ready for where those minions are at, because that it provides its own pressure. But in Mechs versus Minions being a co-op, I mean, if you had to worry about all those minions and opponents, that could be overwhelming and be a lot. So I think for what Guards of Atlantis is and what the game style that they are presenting, I think they nailed it.
Yeah, for the purpose of them just aiding your team and gaining bonuses and getting XP from them, I think they're handled perfectly in this game. And you know what, Tim? When you're right, you're right. And you're right, because my number 2 is Guards of Atlantis too. So I love this game.
I'm collaborating with everybody.
Yeah, me and Tim both backed this on GameFound, and I can't wait to play this again. I love team games like 2v2 type stuff where I'm collaborating with my teammate, just trying to figure out what the best card is to play and where I'm going to end up. Any kind of team territory control games, I just love. And I really appreciate how elegant this game is. This is not a hard game to learn. I mean, you plan your card, you flip it face down, everybody reveals, highest initiative goes first, resolve the card, put it on the player board, everybody plays their card, and then you do 4 of those. At the end of the 4th card, you're going to play 4 out of your 5-card hand. Then you're going to see if all the minions have died and whether they push. And then if you have XP, spend it on new cards. And
rinse, repeat.
It's so easy to play, but the depth of strategy, CPR, baby, the crunch per rule ratio in this game is fantastic.
Yeah.
Very easy to learn, but lots of depth of strategy. This is really going to reward replays, and I can't wait to get to the table again.
That's the other thing, right? This isn't like a game that's like, oh, you've got to play it like 10 times to really appreciate it. This is a game you want to play 10 times because you appreciate it. And again, with all the different character options you can have, so many freaking characters. Like it'll be really fun to see the different dynamics between the character combinations and even just player combinations, right? Like playing with different players to team up. Really cool.
I believe there's like 8 heroes in the base box, and then if you have all the expansion, it's like 30 plus.
Oh my god, yeah, I think 32 heroes, something like that.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to get you visuals, but I'm literally buffering so bad off this Wi-Fi, I can't even pull up a different BGG page.
That is correct.
Wow.
So we're
Hey, that's
We're
all right.
Should have got on my.
we're literally going to have to use a mobile hotspot for this moving forward. So,
all right.
Live and learn.
Not going to fix it midstream,
Live
however.
and learn. Oh, we need to remove that comment.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gone. No spam. Sorry, get out of here. I'll do that later.
Okay.
All right, down to our number one game played in February.
Anyways, number one. I've come to find out that I'm a really good teacher of this game because I don't win it ever,
Oh.
but I enjoy the crap out of it. Ostia.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a Mancala game. You got your boats.
Wait, you did win this when we played, didn't you?
Did I?
You, me, and West. We thought West was gonna win.
I thought West was going to win. Now I'm going to have to look it up for the
You
record.
won.
For the record.
You won.
Really?
Yeah.
Did I?
You did.
You also beat me when we played, so
So I'm not as good a teacher as I thought.
But he's definitely the most humble teacher.
I am way more humble than you, dude. Way more humble. But I think it just always looks like I'm losing. And then you get to the end game score and it's like, oh, I do have a bunch of points.
Yeah. Except you don't do what Spencer does and complain about losing the whole time.
Yeah.
You just look like you're losing the whole time.
Because we did think that Wes was going to win that.
Oh, we did.
There. Yeah, because it looked like he was blowing us out of the water. But I think you're right. I did kind of come back with it. But anyways, it's a ton of fun. We played it with the Pirates expansion. That's the new expansion that came out for it. And you pick up all of your ships in this one little section of your board. You're going to gain resources that match that, equal to the number of ships you pick up. And then you're putting one ship down as you go around the Mancala. Then wherever you place that last ship, that's the action you're going to take. And then the actions are like move some boats, build some more boats, or do some trading. Mike's still buffering, like 404, image not found. We didn't feed the internet hamsters. That's probably what's going on.
That's right.
But no, this game is really good. Like even the base game is fun, and I think that could be good for like entry level people. And once they've got more of a grasp on it, you throw those pirates in there, and man, it's really good.
I will play either version of that game at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
I love Ostia so much. I didn't put it on my list because I wanted to talk about a different game, but Ostia would definitely be like my number one honorable mention.
Nice.
Because playing it again
Mhm.
and then like teaching Wes and just kind of getting the refresher for myself because it had been a minute.
Yeah.
God dang, that game is so good.
It is.
I really love that game.
Mhm.
And Wes had a great time with it. I felt
Yeah, he said he really enjoyed it. So
but yeah, man, it's just really cool. The satisfaction of that
Mhm.
engine building and like those setting up those big actions and even like the turns where you don't necessarily get to do a ton.
right, because you're kind of setting up that next turn or two.
It's because you get stuff when you pick up and then you were going to execute that action when you drop off. It still feels like you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
Like
we need to pick up, get a bunch of stuff, and then drop out of the round and do like an admin action, which gives you a wild action. And then you also get to pick all those up and then go again. And you land on that admin action again. And you're getting like 3 or 4 actions in a round. Man, that's satisfying.
Yeah, that game's really good. Mm-hmm. It's really good. Really underrated. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad that came on our radar and we were able to.
Me too.
Get exposed to that because that game's damn good. No, so my number one, I'm gonna go with a game that's not out yet, but will be coming to crowdfunding hopefully this year. But we love difficult co-ops, and I finally got to play Claw.
Oh yeah, nice.
Now, technically, Wes will tell you and Justin will tell you that we played wrong.
We played easy mode.
We played easy mode because we did defeat the Claw, but that game was really tense, even on easy mode.
Yeah.
And we were really like there's just a lot going on, right? So basically we were all like sort of on these camps on the outskirts of the map, and the Claw is coming from the bad guys, right? They're coming from the middle of the map, they're spawning and then they're moving. And there's event cards, they're going to affect everything. And then there's like, well, what critters are moving or spawning?
Yeah.
And so, like, if you draw a card, those guys are going to spawn it's move. Is it move and spawn or spawn and move?
I think it's move and spawn because they move out of the way and then you spawn.
And then you spawn the new ones.
Yeah.
But so you can try to like keep some stuff wiped out because you're like, well, if they move, we're toast, right? Because they're going to move into those camps. So if you keep them far and off your camps, then if they only spawn, it's not near as bad. And then you don't even know the strength of them until you engage
Actually
them.
attack them, yeah.
Or, or maybe they move through something that causes damage to them,
When
which
they flip over. I really like how, like, as you're killing things moving around, you're getting these resources, and then you're spending all those resources to build new units.
yes.
And some of those units are badass, and they can like pick your other dudes up and take you with them. And use them as kind of like shields or whatnot.
And they have a really nice system set up where a lot of those resources you can trade in,
interchangeable almost. Yeah,
and so because for a minute, like just a minute, it's like, man, I got all of this and I can't do anything with it. It kind of stinks. And then it's like, oh wait,
I can trade this.
I can trade these in, and then all of a sudden stuff started happening,
Mhm.
and I really appreciated that. I thought it was super fun. The artwork is very cool.
Yes.
Again, really difficult co-op. I think I would have done terrible playing this online.
Yeah, it was super fit. Like online, it's super fiddly. Like they had Justin and Wes kind of managing the board for Mike and I.
Yeah.
And it looked like they were doing a lot to upkeep it. But once you have the physical, like tangible copy, it was a lot less fiddly because it's not like like click, 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 move over here, click, click, move over here, click, click. You're just like, okay, take damage, remove a chip, because it's basically almost like chip theory, where it's going to have a bunch of chips underneath the pieces to track your health.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And then like he still had, they were doing all ones because it's still a prototype. But they're going to do like 3s and 1s, and that's going to make it even less fiddly.
Right.
It'd be easier to manage.
But yeah, the way this game played was really fun. I felt like once you understood the rules, it felt intuitive. And yeah, just difficult, challenging. You're trying to make choices, and
asymmetrical.
Yeah,
I mentioned that.
Yeah. Like so, it was just really cool. The way you in the timing of like where you do your leader and where you send your leader, and are you going to send your leader? What base are you sending them to? Yeah, it was just lots of cool stuff, and it lived up to the hype for me. I finally got to play it, easy mode. I can't wait to play it again and probably get destroyed, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Bob,
this campaign should be live either at the end of the year. They're probably looking at Q1 of 2026. And yeah, right now, Board Game Rundown is the exclusive YouTube channel for Claw coverage.
Hey.
There is no other channel that has Claw coverage. So if you're curious about this game, you're watching the right channel to learn about.
And I have it on good faith that once this hits crowdfunding, we will cease all coverage because they're going to cut contact with us.
Thank God.
Pay to ship a copy to them.
So does this mean that like Wes Todd is a designer on 2 of our picks for this month?
It does.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah, rigged.
We love Wes.
We do.
Yeah, we do. He is local, so we get to game with him.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Claw's a lot of fun. I've had a chance to play this 3 times now, and seeing it evolve each time. I first played this at Gen Con 2023, and now I've played 2 games on Tabletop Simulator, and it just keeps growing and getting better each time. I can't wait to see the final version of Claw.
Yeah. So a question for the people in the comments right now. If we had the opportunity to do a tabletop version of that with you, would that be something that you guys would be interested in checking out? Let us know in the comments, and we will look into that.
Yeah. If you guys are that's really important. That's a good question, because that would be a good opportunity for you to get some exposure to the game. You want to play it, and then we probably could get one of the designers in on it, like to help facilitate the teach,
help quarterback a little bit, and
But I mean. And sometimes it's good to have somebody that knows how to play the game that's not the designer, because they could actually teach a little better.
Yeah. And I mean, and plus they're super fluid in the Tabletop Simulator.
Right.
They could help with some of the upkeep.
Yes.
But yeah, just going down here to the content available. And oh, look at that. It's 2 videos from Board Game Rundown. I need to upload the 3rd. So
before you know it, we're not even going to be involved in this project. Despite all this stuff.
I know. Hopefully the shipping's not too bad.
That's right.
So
that's right.
All right. So Bob, sometimes you're right. And when you're right, you're right. Now, my number 1 is Ostia. Ostia.
Great game. Oh my God. It could have been my number 1.
Ostia is amazing. I will tell you right now, as far as new to me games for this year, it's Ostia. I think Ostia is fantastic. I was first put on to Mancala games by Stefan Feld's Trajan. It's a very old very old in board game terms. It's 10 years old now.
Right.
That's ancient.
Like that ancient history.
That's like 70 in dog years. Right?
But that was the first Mancala game I played, and it's basically like you're playing a whole bunch of different mini games because all the actions are like different parts of the board that do very different things, but then they have like ways that they're cohesive in the in-game scoring. Ostia is like each action allows you to push a boat up a track, really.
Yeah.
And I think what Ostia does incredibly well is how you can actually upgrade the Mancala itself by making things you're building cheaper, or by getting the larger ships where those count for 2 in the territory they're in. And upgrading the Mancala feels so good. And I love Mancala action selection because you can plan out several turns in a row just by going, okay, I can drop these 4, and then that'll let me do that action, and then I'll have 3 here, and then I can do that action. Once that one drops there, I'll move that one for this. It's very easy to count 4 or 5 turns in a row, and nobody can really muddle with those plans.
Right.
So I love that opportunity to have a long-term strategy that you can actually see out in this game. It's just very satisfying. I loved Ostia.
Nice.
So I can't wait to play this again. My new to me of the year so far.
So would you say this is making a push towards your favorite trading in the Mediterranean game?
No,
Not that good. Yeah.
As Luke Laurie alluded to in our last Whiskey Wednesday stream, Concordia is a masterpiece, and Ostia is very good, but nothing's touching Concordia yet.
All right.
I don't know. I think I'm not going to say replace or whatever, but I think Ostia is definitely going to be high up in my top 50 next year.
It's in my top 50. I ranked it a 9 for a reason.
Yeah,
it's easily in my top 50.
Yeah, it's definitely a 9 for me. That game's so
it's
good.
a 9 for
I want
me.
to play
So
right
we
now.
take our score and we average them together. It's a 9.
Can
wait.
you? I didn't see you use a calculator.
Oh,
I
sorry.
got it.
Hang on.
So 27 divided by 3.
Yeah.
There you go.
Great
That
game.
is our top 5.
That's pretty good.
That was
Pretty
good.
good.
Honorables.
Shorter month, but yeah,
shorter month.
definitely
Yeah.
some honorable mentions. Anybody can go first. I brought
Sure.
one with me.
Well, I mean, I had Tiger and Dragon on my short list.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
But I didn't quite make it.
Flip 7. I played Flip 7 a bunch. I actually showed my sister Flip 7
Okay.
and my nephew and my niece, and I think they tried to like look up buying it like right away. You know what I
Nice.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like everybody, because did
It's
you
one of
guys
those
see
games.
New York Toy Fair? Like, so the op has like a thing for like their game of the year,
Okay.
you know, and so like games that were nominated:
Uh-huh.
Gnome Hollow, deserving, right?
Sure.
Flip 7.
Yeah.
And what they lost to was like an Uno variation. And it's like, come on.
People to know the Uno name, so like, I'll vote for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a waste.
Listen, I mean, I'm sure that Uno variation is fun if you like Uno, but I 100% will tell you that both Flip 7 and Gnome Hollow are way better and more fun, and you'll get more replayability out.
The other one I would say would be the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game would be the other one.
Oh, I didn't like
It's
that.
good,
at all.
but I mean, it's a short list for that month, so.
We'll save that for the least favorite of the month.
Whoa!
Shots fired.
Misfit Heroes. Misfit Heroes
Oh,
was
yeah.
definitely an honorable mention for me. Just not enough to get on the list with some of the other games that we played, but I got a lot of plays of Misfit Heroes in last month, and really like it. Really enjoy sort of the replayability and that tableau building that you can do. I thought it was really interesting. So Misfit Heroes is definitely on there. House of Fado played last month.
Yeah.
Enjoyed House of Fado, especially once we realized what we were doing wrong with some of those,
The
Fado tiles or whatever they
Mhm.
are. Really kind of increased
Jacked it
my
up. Yeah.
enjoyment
For
of
sure.
it. Any other honorable mentions?
Yeah. There was one
I got
that
one more.
we had a chance to do a preview video on. Actually, no, sorry. It's out. It's 13th Street Crew. So 13th
Oh.
Street Crew was the game that basically it's like a hidden trader game. And it's more of a mob kind of theme, mafia type of theme. And you're sort of like trying to accomplish these missions, and you need certain resource cards to do them, but you're not going to have enough. You can do the solo ones and try to win that way, but it's going to take you too long. but you need other players to join you and use their resource cards. But they can tank it. They can at the end, when all the resource cards are collected, if you have enough and you accomplish the mission, then you're going to play a card that is you get away scot-free, or the police shows up. And this is kind of like the chaos deck that you guys were referring to in Unfathomable.
Yes.
Everybody submits their police card, shuffle them, reveal. If there's just one police card, the mission fails, and all those resources you spent on that mission are gone.
You know what's funny? So you have Battlestar Galactica, right? And then you have Dark Moon, which is BSG Express. 13th Street Mafia is like Dark Moon Express because it's a similar sort of idea, but even faster.
Yeah.
You know, because you're trying to meet those needs. This game kind of came out of nowhere, right? Like the you know, they talked, like, reached out. I don't remember if the designer reached out to us or vice versa, but
they reached out to us.
We got a copy of that game, and it not only did it not disappoint, it was a very pleasant surprise. Mike had basically like complete strangers playing, like taught them the game, and he kind of just helped run it.
I was running the game for like a family of like 8 people.
Yeah.
And some of them were only like 11 or 12 year olds.
And they were having a
picked up the
great
game
time
easily and really had a blast with it. How do you get this game, and asking for the website link. So we already have a review video shot for that. It'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks.
13th Street Crew, really good.
It was fun.
Really fun. I'm going to talk about one real quick. Kind of a board game, kind of not. So we got these killer mystery set. So this is like one of those like subscription boxes where they send you the stuff and you're trying to solve a crime. And so like each month is going to have this box, and you're going to have like these envelopes in them, and you're going to open up these envelopes as you go through, and they're going to give you different clues, and you're going to work through all of the envelopes, like, so the story is going to sort of unfold. But if you go envelope by envelope, you don't necessarily need to have the answers at the end of, like, say, the first envelope, right? You're like, okay, we think we got an idea what's going on. We're going to open up the second envelope. Now you're going to get more of the story. Now, by the time you get to that last envelope in that box, you're going to want to try to have the answers to see if you're right, if you're able to determine how, the murder was perpetrated and by whom. But I cracked this open with my sister and my wife, and we were going through it, and like, she's freaking taking notes. You know what I mean? Like, we had like stuff spread out all over the table. We were joking about getting a board and like yarn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And stuff. But we really had a good time. I think if you want sort of like an immersive, experience, so far so good with these. We're still working on the first month. It's kind of like when we can get together, because it's not just like a Flip 7 where you're just going to bullshit while you're doing it. Like, no, we're digging in, we're paying attention, we're reading these clues. We're keeping out we're keeping all this information out. We're taking notes. It's like, well, where'd you find that? Where'd you find that? Where was that name from? And you're pulling it all together. It's been really interesting and a lot of fun so far. So if you were curious on any of these things, which I always have been, so far, Killer Mystery's been good to us. So that was an honorable mention. Okay, boys, let's get spicy for a minute. Oh yeah, I like David here. Look, that Sunday streamers.
Ooh, man, now I want some ice cream.
Yeah, man.
Sounds good.
Okay, spicy. Here we go.
Spicy take.
What's the worst game you played in February, or most disappointing?
We'll go backwards for that too. So
let's go backwards because
we
we probably have
spicy.
crossover.
Yeah,
and it's spicy.
It's spicy.
Not that I didn't enjoy it, but my least favorite play from February was the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game. And I think it's because I love The Crew. The Crew, both versions are my favorite trick-taking games. I love the nuance and the communication, which is very important to being successful in The Crew. And the Fellowship of the Ring gives you no opportunity at all to communicate. You pick a character. That's the really only communication you get. Oh, he picked that character, so he's Frodo. He's got the ring. He's got the highest card, and you want him to take all the tricks that have the rings. And then, before the game starts, depending on the character that you pick, that can give you some information.
Yeah.
And that does give you the opportunity to exchange cards with other players. That's not enough for me. Like, I want to play it just to see the other stuff that unlocks, and the other characters that come in. But like once I complete the whole scenario, I believe there's 24 of them in the entire box. I'm probably done with it. I'll just go back to the crew. I think the crew is superior, and it sort of set me up to not be as enthralled with this one as I thought I would be. I feel like that limited communication in the crew takes it several steps above this one.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, though, right? That was a game you still enjoyed. It just was maybe your least favorite out of what you played. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
That's
I
not
still gave
terrible.
it a 7.
Yeah, Bob and I, we played a game that we did not enjoy.
Yeah. I literally said I did not have fun playing
Yeah.
this.
And we gave it a lot of tries.
Yeah, we did. Like, what, 3 or 4?
Yeah. Well, and then I did it a few tries even
On your own.
outside of that on my own.
It wouldn't be a live stream if somebody didn't dip out.
Mike is going to grab it.
Oh, yeah, he is going to grab
I
it.
knew exactly what it's going to go.
That's funny.
Now, I will say, I think you should watch the video. We'll save a lot. We should save some of our specific critiques
Yes.
for the video itself. But I think it's
Bold of you to guess that that's what it is, Mike.
based on not only the hype, like my own personal hype for this game and interest based on like the designer and everything and
the
then
IP.
and the IP and all that stuff. But the most disappointing game.
Wow. Yeah.
And we did not rate this a 7.
If you're on a phone and you can't read it, it's
Oh,
Metal
yeah.
Gear Solid.
It's
if
Metal
too
Gear
small.
Solid.
Yeah, the board game.
By
the
Simon.
board game by
Yeah.
Simon and designed by Emerson Matsucci.
Yeah, you think that'd be a knockout team?
Oh yeah, the components are great.
Yeah.
Look great. The art's great.
Yep. Cool
the
minis.
are fun. There's a lot of cool stuff, and
Yeah.
then there's the gameplay. So we'll leave it sort of ambiguous at that. But
Yeah, you should check out the review. It's gonna be coming out soon. And yeah, you'll see why we. feel the
yeah,
way we do.
you know, it sort of
'Cause
spoils.
we're not just gonna say it just to say it. There's reasons behind.
We really tried to validate like our experience and explain where we were coming from with our comment. And again, if it is something that we were playing wrong or doing wrong, let us know, because this is a game I genuinely want to enjoy.
like. Yes.
I need to go back and play sort of the campaign mode,
and
because
see
we
if that
did
helps.
do VR missions specifically because those are the ones that start off multiplayer.
Right. The campaign starts solo.
Yeah, the first couple missions are just solo for the campaign, and the campaign kind of teaches you
That score's a little inflated.
how to play the game.
8.5
Well-
is the BGG rating. And it's got 256 ratings.
Yeah, I'm sure most of those are maybe fanboys. I don't know.
I'm just
They were
we're
just
I
missing
don't think
something
they play
on
VR
the-
mode.
Yeah, probably not. Maybe not.
I love the gameplay and the what?
this guy says it's perfect.
Well, yeah, no.
Listen, I'm glad he's happy.
Sure.
I'm glad he's happy.
A boon of an IP.
Man, I was curious. Wow. Really highly rated.
Yeah. All
The
right.
rundown tank. Oh, wait.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Bob and I came up with a couple of house rules that I think are going to make that game
Yes,
awesome.
I say definitely want to try it again with our house rules, and because like Zombicide, right, first edition when that
Right.
came out, we're like, this game is dumb. We fixed it. We fixed it so good. Basically, Simon took the rule that we put on it and put it into their second edition, and now the game's much better.
Which just told us we were right.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
So you're saying Eric Lang's not a very good designer?
I'm not saying that.
Did he design
He knows
Zombicide?
Zombicide.
Thought he did.
No.
I didn't think he did.
Oh,
Zombicide.
sorry. I'm wrong.
And Emerson Matsucci,
And besides,
for the
they-
record, is an amazing
Yeah,
designer.
and I mean,
Right.
and they all can't be bangers.
Right. No, 100%.
Yeah.
But I think what the things that Bob, and we'll talk, you'll see it in the video, but like some of the things we were talking about are just things to make the game a little more fun.
Yeah.
And make it a little more fulfilling.
Yeah.
For what we were trying to do, because it felt so restrictive at times that it was just not a good time.
Yeah. Hopefully, it'll be out maybe this week, if not the next week.
Yeah, it'll be out pretty soon.
Yeah.
So I will say, kind of previewing some stuff for March.
Mhm.
Coming up, we will have a Shadows, Heroes, and Monsters
Yes.
preview/review video. It's a review because we basically we have a first edition copy with some prototype second edition stuff.
Right.
Second edition's coming to Kickstarter, I believe, on Tuesday.
I believe it is. Yeah.
Right now. So if you're watching this right now, and then the because that's like the 18th, right? It's Tuesday, March 18th. But
Mhm. Checks out.
without going like too crazy into it, Bob and I rated the game highly.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I don't want to get like I said too much into it, but asymmetrical players, which are awesome,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like a PvPvE, which is
Yeah.
super cool. I've always enjoyed video games like that, so to see that in a very unique deck building situation. It was fun.
Yeah, really cool. And then Bob and I also we will have a video of for Hoplomachus from Chip Theory. Hoplomachus remastered. And we just did basically a review of the skirmish mode.
Mhm.
But when we do have Mike in, I think it's gonna be awesome to do one of those 3-player co-op modes where we go up against a Titan.
Oh yeah, that'd be
You know?
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very cool. So lots of stuff going on there. Bob also has the Hoplomachus Victorum, which is the solo version.
Mode. Mhm.
May not be out this month, right? But
It's coming.
And then also I have a video coming for Chip Theory sent me like a bundle of 3 kids games that I think is worth checking out if you're trying to find games to play with your kids and that are fun for you and also like really engaging for the little ones. And of course it's Chip Theory, so they're made really well and look great. I think that's just kind of some of the preview stuff I've got for like, hey, March has been kind of fun.
Who do we have on our calendar for the rest of March for Wednesday?
Oh my God, so many. I even just added.
It's busy. I know. I kept seeing names pop up on the. Oh, this one's the person's been added. This
We
person's been added.
have
So
Chris Porter next week from Nerdy
Okay.
Soul. He also has a game currently on Kickstarter called Holiday Hills.
And then his YouTube channel, he does like sneakers and board games.
Okay.
SOLE Soul, Nerdy Soul.
Mhm.
So yeah, he's a sneakerhead and a board game.
So what sneakers to wear as you run in Gen Con to try to go grab your favorite board
I
game?
bet you. I can't wait to ask him what he thinks of Mike's Hey Dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wear more than just sneakers. So I've never seen Tim wear anything but tennis shoes. Just saying. March 26th, we have Josh Bowman. He's from the Tabletop Submarine. He's also an indie designer at Cape Pie Games, and he has a game called Beach Day. So that's wrapping up March, but it goes farther than that.
Oh, so much farther. Right. I've got a maybe on April 2nd, so we'll wait on that one. But then we've got Daniel Connors from Around the Board podcast coming on the 9th. We've got Jason Blake, designer of Seismic, on the 16th. We have, hopefully I say this right, Zishan Khan from Board and Shield on the 23rd. Wow. And then we have Jason, I don't have Jason's last name, but the designer from Killer Mysteries.
That's a full month, man. So our 50 after 50, we might be lucky to finish it 50% of the way through the year.
Maybe.
I'll have new entries by then. No,
yeah,
I'm not going to change it. Like we're already too far into the year to make changes.
Yeah, no doubt. But it's been awesome. I really appreciate like the interest that we've had when we kind of threw up the bat signal to see if we could get some new guests, right? Try to collaborate with some people we haven't yet. So I'm looking forward to talking to those people about their projects and like what they've got going on. It is always awesome. I said this off camera to Luke while I was waiting for you guys to get on, but I go, what's crazy about this hobby and like getting to do what we do is like, I've got this happens all the time with us, but we get these designers that we kind of admire from afar and you only know the name. And it's like, and then you just get to hang out with them and like get to know them as a person. And Luke even said, he's like, and then you just find out they're regular people. I'm like, I know, man, but it's really cool what you did. Like, and the stuff you've done.
Yeah.
And he was a great sport, like he was really fun. He rolled with he didn't know us. We'd never met him. Like we'd had a couple of emails back and forth. And even then the emails felt very formal, almost, right? Like not stiff, but just like, I don't know them. I'm just responding to an email. So to get to actually have that conversation and just, I love it when people loosen up and hang out with us. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, we've had lots of designers and publishers, but yeah, the next few weeks we're going to be collabing with other YouTube channels, which will be interesting.
Yeah, a couple of mix of YouTube channels and publishers. It's what's funny is I've been trying to get both like we need to get Eric Bettinger back on. So Josh Bowman,
he's a little busy right now.
He is.
Congratulations.
But Josh Bowman was like, well, wait for Cake Pie. I'm like, well, come, because his game isn't coming out yet, and I'm like, well, come on for Tabletop Submarine. Like, that's a thing.
Right.
And he's like, oh, okay, fine. And then Brandon Young. I reached out to him and he's like, well, I got some prototypes and I'm kind of waiting to, I want to get some stuff coming out. And I'm like,
we could do a whole Key B segment.
I mean, we could. We should. We should just highlight Key B games. Honestly. All right, let's make that happen.
They've got like 4 or 5 games signed already.
They call themselves friends of the show. We're going to demand they prove it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's true.
Oh, that's a great idea, Mike. We should just do Kibi Designer Corner.
There you go.
But yeah, I really excited about the stuff we've got coming. We're going to try to do some more of these at least once a month, do a live stream on a Sunday, recap our month. So bear with us as they get better.
Yeah.
We kind of work out the kinks. We tried to do it like a month ago and it totally didn't work at all.
Totally.
So we're a million miles ahead of where
That's
we
right.
were.
We actually got into it.
Yeah.
Through it. No major
Actually got
crashes or
into it.
hiccups.
Right.
So-
I will take the buffering on the screen.
And that's not even as bad as your buffering usually are. I mean, the Whiskey Wednesday irregulars, they're used to that.
They're used to this.
Yeah.
They're hardened veterans.
Yeah.
Oh, my eyes are watering.
Yeah,
Trying to
you're
hold both
blinking.
of them.
Yeah. They can tell.
I can't. Yeah. Anyways, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you guys for joining us on that off day. I know, it's kind of hard to find times that works for everybody.
Yep. Well,
But yeah,
about
I
it,
think that's
guys?
it. I think that's it. We're going to
So
go play
wrap on
Fence
this?
Span.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
that'll be
can,
coming.
you can see us pictures of that. We'll share some
Mhm.
pictures on Discord, Instagram, do all those things.
Yep. And if
Uh,
you want to watch the playthrough, like Tim said earlier, join the Patreon.
Yeah. Also, if for some reason you're watching and you haven't,
Hit
like,
that.
subscribe, hit the thumbs, all those things, share the show. If you can't or don't want to support us financially, leave us comments, share the show, tell your friends,
It
tell
all
your family,
helps.
alienate all of them by exposing them to us.
That's right.
And
True.
that all helps us immensely. We're trying so hard. We're almost to 7,000 subs. We're almost, what are we, like 44 away?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right around there.
Mike does not have that many new burner phones at his work.
I know. They
No,
need to
I
hire
know.
some people.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Start
this
creating secondary Gmail accounts.
There you go.
right. But this has been awesome, guys. Thank you so much for being here, joining us, and let us know what the best games you played in February, and then coming up March. So keep a list, keep a tally. Anything else
Nope.
before we sign off?
Mm-mm.
All right, guys. For the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
And I've been Jack Handy.
It wasn't funny the first time.
No, I didn't get any better the second time.
Who's
Peace out.
laughing?
We'll see you guys.
Good
next
job,
time.
Stonemeyer.
A 7.3 repeating. Heating.